Hi, Oklahoma 4-H. We are excited to have you back to talk more about sweet potatoes. Jordan Nell, who shared with you last week about sweet potatoes going from bulk storage to packaging, and today we're going to talk about going from the packaging and the store to your dinner table. So today we're going to be sharing my favorite recipe and talking about the benefits of sweet potatoes. Hi, I'm Kathy Allen with Oklahoma 4-H, and I work in the area of healthy living. And so let's get started talking about sweet potatoes. Whenever we talk about sweet potatoes or we think about sweet potatoes, the first thing that often comes to mind is a holiday meal, a sweet potato covered in marshmallows with some brown sugar maybe. We often think that we need to candy them up or add additional sugar, when really we do not need to add anything because their name really speaks for itself, a sweet potato. Sweet potatoes have a copper-colored outside and a bright orange flesh inside. Sweet potatoes over the years have maybe gotten a bad rap. People often think they don't like sweet potatoes, but I have to ask, have they really ever tried a sweet potato? Sweet potatoes today are so versatile. They can be baked, they can be roasted, they can be fried, they can be boiled. We like to put them out on our grill in a basket. There's so many ways that you can enjoy a sweet potato today. Also, sweet potatoes aren't just for dinner anymore. They can be put into chips and served with a sandwich at lunch. They can be stirred into a hash or into a sweet potato pancake type that we're going to be making today. So I want to share one of my favorite recipes with you. So with a sweet potato, the first thing that we need to do is to, the outside coating or the peel of the sweet potato is safe to eat, but we need to make sure that we wash it thoroughly with a vegetable brush under water. So I'll go ahead and wash this potato off, making sure to remove any type of dirt or debris that is on the outside of the potato. Okay. As I said, sweet potatoes do not have to be peeled. You can eat the peeling, but for this particular recipe that we're going to be making today, I prefer to take the peeling off. I think it helps the hash brown potatoes that we'll be making for our potato pancakes stay together. So when using a peeler, you always want to peel away from yourself, making sure that you are watching where your hands are. Peelers can be very sharp, and so you just want to peel the skin lightly away from the potato. I just finished peeling off the peel of the sweet potato, and you can see, comparing the two, how by taking the peel off, how the bright orange flesh is revealed. The next thing we're going to do for our recipe is to cut the potato into small pieces. The sweet potatoes are very firm, and so I want to encourage each of you to have an adult help you do the cutting of the potatoes. Also, I would encourage you to have an adult with you as you're peeling. So you always want to hold the knife down and cut away from you, so as we cut this into smaller chunks. The next step that we're going to do for our recipe is to shred them. I personally do not have a box shredder at home, but if you have a hand shredder that you can grate them on, this is the same thing that we're going to be doing in the food processor. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the food processor on. I'm gonna drop these down and use the stopper, being very careful to keep my hands away. And I'll turn this on. It's probably gonna get a little loud. Okay, I'll put my next piece in. And the final piece. I wanted to just take a minute and talk about the bright orange color of the sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a top source of beta carotene. They are also rich in vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. I want to talk about the ingredients in sweet potato hash pancakes. It's very simple. Butter, a sweet potato, and a little salt and pepper is all that we need. So we're going to start off, can make this in batches. One of the great things about this particular recipe is you can make it for one or you can make it for several members of your family. So I've heated my cast iron skillet, or you could use a heavy bottom skillet. So it's heating up, and I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of butter and allow that to melt. You want your butter to be bubbling, but yet not browning. So I need to turn this down just a little bit. Okay, it looks like it's good and melted. So now I'm going to create my pancakes by taking a batch of the sweet potatoes, just dropping them into the skillet, using my utensil to flatten them out. I'll make 2. Then I'll top with just a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to start my timer to allow them to cook on one side for 4 minutes. So our 4 minutes is up, and so I'm going to carefully try to flip this over. Oh, perfect. And then we'll again press them back and allow 4 to 5 minutes on the other side. My sweet potato cakes have had time 4 to 5 minutes on each side, so it's time to pull them off and serve them in one of my very favorite ways. Always remember to turn off your stove or oven. And I like to top them with a fried egg. Thanks for joining us on 4-H Virtual Clovers. You've had the opportunity to see sweet potatoes go from bulk storage to packaging, from the store that we had our package to your breakfast table. Sweet potatoes shouldn't just be reserved for the Thanksgiving table covered in marshmallows, but this is a recipe that is definitely a favorite of mine. I love sweet potato hash brown cakes topped with a fried egg and maybe a couple of pieces of sausage or bacon strips. Again, the recipe for the sweet potato hash brown cakes was a medium-sized sweet potato, 2 tablespoons of butter. We shredded the sweet potatoes in the food processor, or you could use a box grater, whatever you have at home. Melted 2 tablespoons of butter in a skillet, and then we put the shredded sweet potatoes in 2 mounds, allowing them to brown on medium heat for 4 to 5 minutes on each side, topping only with a little salt and pepper. You could top them with some chipotle flavoring, seasoning, or some garlic, whatever your preference is. I personally put some chives on the egg. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you'll join in and tune in next time. Thanks so much. Remember to stay safe.